Hi my wonderful weirdlings, welcome to the channel. This is Beyond Authentic, where we go beyond the mundane to tell you all about authentic witchcraft. My name is Lisa and today's video is part of my Spooktober week. Now before you say it, I know for most people Spooktober means an entire month. However, I am very old, very busy. I've got 2 YouTube channels and I've also just launched a business with Kirsty. So, you know, we've been a little bit busy recently. So normally I would try and film a bunch of videos in advance, but we just haven't been able to. I did still want to release a bunch of videos back to back for Samhain, Halloween, for this spooky season. So then what is today's video? Today's video is a special one. It's one that I try and film around each of the Sabbats. And if you like it, why not go ahead and press that thumbs up button? And if you haven't already, you can also go ahead and hit the subscribe button right now and then click the bell icon and then change your settings to all so that YouTube notifies you each and every time I upload a video. But what is this video? That is the question. Well, today is an altar tour. So if you want to know what all this spooky stuff is on my altar, if you want to know why it's there, including a couple of personal, really personal bits, then stay tuned. Okay, so I'll start with this shelf. So these are some of my books of shadows. I've got various books of shadows for various different things. So yeah, they're just on there because it's a nice way to put them. It is after all supposed to be a bookshelf, but you know. I've got my salt and that there, a couple of candles there, just candles. My oil burner that I use, but it's actually it's a wax melt burner now. And then this is the print that came in the Cures and Curses box. Isn't it gorgeous? Absolutely gorgeous. It's really lovely, perfect for Halloween. These skull lights came from B&M for, I think they were £3 for the set, which I thought was fantastic. They'd go around this bookcase top probably 2.5 times, so I've just doubled them up on here just because I like the way that looks. My new Box of Goth sticker stroke pin holder. So this holds various enamel pins and things that we've got, some stickers, some patches, just things like that. And then onto the altar itself. This is a candle holder. It had a candle in originally that I actually made. That candle is now pretty much used up, so I'm just using it because I like the orange glow. The Viking drinking horn, I got that at a pagan camp. It represents obviously a lot of things, but it's come from an animal that has passed away, so you know it has that death energy as well. There is the silver pentacle there. It's actually in what's it called, incense holder, but I just use it as a little altar tile. We've got some crystals, a pine cone, because that for me is a key thing for the season. My crystal ball, which as you can see it doesn't actually have a light in, it is just an actual crystal ball. See, no light, no nothing. And sometimes just the light from the ring light that I've got in front of me where I film, that can show up in this and it absolutely looks like it glows, so love that. There's a couple of various spell bottle things with stuff in there in the background. They've come from various boxes. A selection of necklaces, I nearly said earrings. Some of these have been, oh no, that was resting there, look, knocked it all off now. This one came from Witch Casket, that one was a gift from Kirsty, this one was a gift from another friend. We've got the healing brooch there, obviously with Poppy. Move along. This came from Poundland of all places. It looks really cool. It's kind of like a cauldron with skeleton hands grabbing it, so yeah, grab that. Little pumpkin tea light holder on top. This you would have seen in one of the thrift haul videos, little silver frame, and that's the rune for protection. Another little crystal there, bit of amethyst. Stonehenge, which for me is an important symbol, but also it's where I went with some friends, some of whom now have passed on, and so it's got lots of memories. And this is an old photograph, an old sepia photograph from back in the day. We'll go from Stonehenge, we'll go up. So this unit, you will see where this came from in a future video, but this is going to be on the back of my altar now because it holds all of my sort of magical jewelry items and sort of spooky jewelry items in the top. And then as we go down, there's various bits. I don't want to knock everything off, but there's various bits in these, candles in the bottom, and this one holds the controls for the lights and various other bits and pieces so that everything is stable. make sure I don't knock that off the top. And then this is probably the most personal section of my altar, which I will come to in a little bit. I need to build up to this because it's going to be emotional to talk about. But anyway, skipping past that, this is a gorgeous statue, a goddess statue that I got recently. Again, if you want to know where that came from, it will be in a future video. We've got the little manifestation pot there that came from Witch Casket. This again hasn't yet fully been revealed on a video, but this came from one of my moderators, one of my spanners. Holland has an Etsy shop, and that came from their Etsy shop. So yeah, I'll talk about that in that video. Poppy, lovely Dia de la Morte. We've got a palmistry hand because it says on there, your fate is in your hands. Although I don't read palms, I do kind of note the correspondences between palmistry and tarot and astrology and other forms of divination. The mini little cauldron there, that came in Cures and Curses. The vampire, the Lost Boys, it says time to join the club. Now that came from Box of Goth. However, it's there for a reason. The cauldron plant holder that I've just got this, I love this for my crystals. I think it looks so much cooler. But yeah, so that's got my crystals in. On top of my little box here, there is a Christmas ornament which has an angel in it. Just obvious sort of connotations for those that have passed and ancestor work. That there is Sybil Leek, who is not an ancestor of mine personally, in that she wasn't family, but she was an incredibly well-known witch from originally from Hampshire down in the New Forest, and then she moved to America back in the day. So yeah, very important lady. Moving up, we've got another pumpkin tea light holder, a teal skull. It's actually another oil burner or wax mount holder, but I'm just using it to hold a little protection bag that Renata of the Craft sent me, along with another item for my birthday. So there's another one there on the palmistry thing. Kitchen Witch represents our Kirsty. She's not passed away, but you know, just represents our Kirsty, and it's there just because it reminds me of friends, which again this time of year does really have this dual connotation for me. This little silver and purple, it is actually purple, pentacle actually came in Cures and Curses. So yeah, if you haven't seen that video yet, do go and watch that. But that is absolutely gorgeous. When the light hits it from behind, it really does light up. Look, if I hold it like that, look at that, it's beautiful. A skull, glowing Celtic sort of imagery of a skull. Again, this time of year, a little ghosty. This is a crystal charging point. Talk about that in another video. A little gnome figure that you saw in the old thrift video. The Lisa Live sign that a friend of mine made me. She 3D printed it. Witchcraft sign came from Witch Casket. My abundance poster, which is the Empress, obviously the tarot card, but that is there for abundance. That's why she sits behind me. And obviously my drying herbs and my candle snuffer and that are on there. Now this is a rose skull that I actually picked up very reasonably, actually. So yeah, that is there obviously because it represents, you know, death and passing. And I believe that that was actually roadkill. I think that's how that one came about. A little smudger that a friend of mine bought me years and years and years ago. So you use that if you're using incense or even a smudge spray to kind of waft it around the room. So that's why that's there. Feathers that represent for me ravens, which are a massive part of my kind of witchcraft, if you like. And so yeah, various feathers, but you can see there's a few black ones and magpie feathers, the same on there. The little broom here, that was the free gift in the Witch Casket, which I just really, it made me giggle so much. And the little spooky sticker, I think that triangle thing came from Witch Casket as well. I think you're supposed to put a crystal on it for display, but for me it's the perfect size just to hold the little rose skull. And then back to this then. So this is the most personal section of my altar, and the two skulls obviously representing ancestors, those that have passed, but more specifically they represent the masculine and the feminine energies, because the images on here, the things I've got on here, are some of the people that I have lost and who have passed over, who are incredibly important in my life. So this this obelisk actually represents my dad. it's got a St. Christopher there that was his, that he wore to sea for years and years and years and years. So that represents my dad. Obviously obelisks representing masculine energy. The little lilac and silver butterfly trinket dish, that was mum's. So that represents my mum. Purple was her favourite colour. That lilac was her favourite colour. So yeah, that's there representing my mum. And then in front of it, the next 4 items actually represent 2 people. So my FMA that I've spoken about in the past was made by an amazing friend of mine, just such an amazing person called Wayne, who taught me so much about the craft, and unfortunately he's passed now. So that represents Wayne because that's something that he made. But this little Viking hair grip thing also for me represents him, because Wayne had long hair and he was really into Vikings and heathens, and all of that Norse sort of magical practice, and so that's something that just reminds me of him. So it's not something that I ever wear. It wasn't actually his, it's not like it was a piece of his, but it is something that just reminds me so much of him, so that's why that's there. Now this little glass heart, I think it's stained glass on a little glass plate, little thing, I don't know, a little square. That and the little bag it came in was given to me by my amazing friend Willow, who passed away a few years back. She knew at this point that she was going to be passing. She had cancer, and she knew that things were really, like, she didn't have a lot of time, and so she bought me and Rufus one, so we've both got one of those, just because, you know, we were friends and that meant a lot. And then my wand, as I've spoken about in previous videos, this was Willow's as well, so this was Willow's wand. So it's kind of like I've got energy here that represents the people, and then I've got 2 items that they put their energy into. Willow by using it for magical practice, and Wayne because he made this, and he always described blacksmithing as the ultimate form of magic because it uses all of the elements. It uses the earth for the fuel for the fire, which is obviously fire. It uses air because you have to get the billows in to pump the heat up so it melts the iron, which is also representative of earth, and then the water is what you need to temper it and to cool it and everything else. And then of course the last element is spirit, which is what it takes to make an item. It's the actual person making it and puts themselves into it, and that was one of his prototype test pieces, and yeah, I think it's absolutely amazing. And he said, like, years later, he was really embarrassed when I showed him I've still got this, because he said that actually, you know, his abilities were so much better than what this suggests. But I said, no, but this was one of your test pieces. This was one of the prototypes. Everything that came later, like, this is one of the forebearers. So that's why that was really important. And this wand, I don't know whether Willow actually carved it herself or whether this was carved specifically for her, but Willow was a larger girl, and so if you see the goddess here, she's a slightly larger, more hippier goddess image than you often find. So yeah, so there you go, that's what's on my altar and why it's there. Do let me know all your thoughts and feelings down in the comment section. What do you put on your altars? Do you have a specific layout? Is it just something that you do depending on how you feel for that particular Sabbat? Do you even have an altar space? Do you think it's something that we need? I would love to hear all your thoughts and feelings about it down in the comment section. If you've enjoyed this video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and like I said at the beginning, if you haven't already, please do hit that subscribe button, click your bell icon, and then change your settings to all. That way YouTube should notify you each and every time I upload a video. But that is it from me today. Look out for another video tomorrow as part of my Spooktober week, and I will see you soon. And as we always say, stay you, stay weird, stay authentic, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.